Hello, everybody. Welcome into our virtual edition of UK Fan Day. Obviously, you guys love being able to go out to Kroger Field, take your schedule posters, take your footballs, your helmets, and get the guys to sign them. And that's just not possible under these current circumstances. So we try to get creative. And what we're going to do over the next 4 nights at this time on this platform, presented by Clay Ingels, is to bring you different groups of players and let you interact with them. We've already got some questions that have been posted. You can continue to post your questions on the Twitter feed for UK football or on the Facebook page, and we'll get to as many of the questions as we can. And I believe this is our first venture, so we apologize for being a little late, working through some technical issues. I believe we have Darian Kennard. Darian? Or Darian's not with us, I'm sorry. We have Landon Young. Landon.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing? Luke Fortner.
How you guys doing?
We have Brendan Bates.
Hey, everybody.
Keaton Upshaw.
Hey, everybody.
And Justin Rigg.
How's it going?
And we're waiting on Darian joining us shortly. Let me ask you one quick question for myself, but then we'll get right to fan questions. This is for we'll go to one of the tight ends. We'll go to Justin. So are you guys like auxiliary members of the Big Blue Wall or anything? Do they cut you some slack there?
I think they're finally starting to cut us in there especially after last year. I mean, we were dominant in the run game, and I think they finally allowed us into. I mean, they gave us a shirt, so I'm hoping they're letting us in there.
Well, that's good. They should. You guys do a lot of great blocking. It's just they're a little jealous of you getting to go out and catch passes, I'm sure. So maybe we'll get a tackle eligible to even the playing field at some point. Well, let's jump right into the questions. We want to get as many fan questions as we can. And we'll start with this one came in from Alex. And we'll put this one to Landon. What do you love most about the Big Blue Nation?
I would say probably one of the biggest things I love is just the support that they have for us no matter what. Like, you know, when we go through rough times, when we go through rain games, we went through 4 of those last year. No matter what the situation is, it feels like they always support us in the football stadium. And, you know, as we're going around the community, you know, we can be out to eat at a restaurant and, you know, people always stop and just like, man, I like what y'all are doing. I like how the program's headed. I think y'all have a really good team. Just the support from the whole Big Blue Nation.
All right. We have a question that's come in from Todd. This one is from Keaton. Keaton, what is I'll just, for those of you looking on, I'll mention you'll see me turn away from time to see the questions. That's one of the technical issues we'll get straightened out before tomorrow. But Keaton, what's your favorite route to run from the tight end position?
The tight end, my favorite route, I would say probably a fade route or a feign route.
Why is that?
I just feel like I can beat any defender with my speed, and just when the quarterback throw it, I can get it at a high point at any time.
All right, let's move on to another question. This one's from Diane, and we'll give this one to Luke Fortner. Who's the hardest hitter on the defensive side?
The hardest hitter on the defense, I'd have to give to DeAndre Square. He really brings everything when he comes and meets you at the line, and it's closely followed up by Josh Pascal.
All right, let's go to one of the pass catchers here. We haven't gotten an answer from Brendan yet. Brendan, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would agree to that. You know, I've been kind of like the fullback this year, so I've been hitting kind of like the hardest players on the team, and I would say Square. All the linebackers we got hit pretty dang hard, but I think, you know, Square, he's 230 now, so he's gained some weight, and he packs a punch. And JP coming across and Josh Pascal, those guys pack a punch. I would say I'd probably have to give it to Square though, just because he's so fast and he just knows how to use momentum. So I'd probably give it to Square.
Okay. This is from Kentucky Krog, and the question is, how did the name Big Blue Wall come about? So we'll go to one of the seniors, Landon Young. What's the backstory?
I don't think it really even originated sort of in the offensive line room or anything like that. I think people just sort of started branding it to us. We would have really good games and move the ball, go over 300, 400 yards of rushing in a game. And considering that took precedent of about 90% of our offense last year, people just started saying that we looked like a wall out there, like we were just opening up holes left and right. So I think just slowly the fan base and the whole BBN just started calling us the big blue wall, and we just sort of adopted it from there.
Let's go to one of the questions that came in earlier. This one's from Ginger. We'll get a couple of responses on this. First from Justin and then Luke. Justin, Ginger asks, what's your favorite thing about being a UK football player?
Just being a part of this organization with all the coaches and my teammates. It's a real family, and then you got the fan base, and it really gives you that at-home feeling. And I would just say overall, it's just a great feeling to have the best fans.
So we'll turn to Luke Fortner to get an offensive lineman perspective on that.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Justin. I'd also add kind of being able to come to the time where Coach Deuce was really doing something special in my freshman year, seeing our first 7-5 season and now getting to the point where we're at. Just being a part of all of that and that development has been a really cool experience.
Okay. We have another question that just came in from Tony about the SEC schedule. For the first time, it is all SEC, 10 games against opponents from the toughest league in America, starting on the 26th down at Auburn. So we'll go to Keaton first. What do you think as a player? Is that a challenge you're looking forward to?
Yes, I think it's a big challenge for us. Adding all the tough games for us, it really gives us a chance to get our name out there and for people to really recognize how good we are. And
let's go to Brendan for a thought on that as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this schedule. We're gonna, I think it's gonna show how dominant our team is. I think we have a good team this year, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Show people what Kentucky's all about.
Okay, and guys, I'll add this too. I'll try to direct these questions to someone each time they come through. But if anybody else has something you'd like to add, just feel free to jump in as well. But let's go to another question that just came in from Jonathan, and we'll put this one to Landon. What about the road games, the 5 road games? Is there any one in particular that you're most looking forward to?
I'm excited for all the road games, of course, but I think one that sort of hits personal at home for me, it would be, down to Alabama again. I had an encounter freshman year being able to go down there and get to play the whole game of that. And, they saw me as a freshman and I was a little goofy, a little uncoordinated, didn't really know my stuff as well as I should have, but be able to go back down there and, show them what I've turned into as a football player.
Okay. Darian Kennard now joins us now. Darian, welcome.
Hello.
Let's go to a question from Robert. And Darian, we'll just throw this one your way to start out. What's your most memorable game or memorable moment that you've had so far as a Wildcat?
Most memorable game, I'd say my freshman year, Citrus Bowl. That was a great game to be a part of and witness taking place on the sideline. Kind of just watching everything develop and watching a lot of the older guys go to battle and really see what they were fighting for, and it just kind of really ingrained in me, like it's not just for me, it's for everybody beside me. And getting in that whole second half and finishing out the game, it really showed to me like this is a team that is family. And I felt like that was one of the most memorable games to, start moving the ball, start driving, start working with the guy next to me, start getting everything in motion. And it just felt like everything was clicking. It just really, to me, was the most memorable thing.
I think this is a good question to go to round the horn on. So we'll go to Luke Fortner next. Most memorable game or memorable moment?
Honestly, I think the most memorable game for me was Louisville last year, just because it was so much fun. Honestly, we were all having a great time, and it's always fun to beat Louisville, right? So that's a really fun time for me.
This is the UK Virtual Fan Day presented by Clay Ingels, and we got a question about the most memorable moment or memorable game for these guys. Next up, Keaton Upshaw. What about for you?
Even though this game didn't go as we planned it, I would say the Florida game last year because it was my first touchdown of the year. And just being in the moment, if it was a great experience to score my very first touchdown and doing it with my brothers.
Yeah, that's understandable. Your first touchdown, that's quite a memory when you're a college football player. Justin, what about you?
I would say my most memorable game was Florida a couple of years ago when we went down there and beat them. Just being a part of that win after all those years just was a great moment to be a part of, and everything during that game was just felt like a highlight play, and it'll always be in my head.
Let's go to Brendan. Favorite or most memorable moment or memorable game for you?
I think my most memorable moment for me was the spring game last year, and it was kind of like a highlight play for me. People really didn't know who I was, and I caught a ball and I dove over somebody for the end zone. And that moment sticks out to me because it's people kind of started figuring out who I was, and my parents were really proud. It was just a cool moment, cool day.
And Landon, I think you're the only one we haven't turned to. So what about you?
Yeah, I would have to say probably one of my most memorable ones would be Eastern Michigan last year. And, I had the opportunity to get my first SEC Lineman of the Week during that game, but also coming off of an injury year and, having the first game to sort of warm up and finally being able to see all that hard work that you put on off the field, to be able to recover off a knee injury and not drop down any, to be able to pick back up where you were and even better. So that was a real just rush of emotions and, huge on my faith and being able to thank God that I'm able to go back out there and play again.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. It's a lot to come back from. Next question we'll send to Darian, and it is, who is a sleeper on this team, either side of the ball, that maybe isn't getting talked about as much as they should be at this point?
That's a hard question. There's a lot of young talent that we have. It just takes time to develop. Right now, I think who has the most, potential just from seeing a little bit of them in action, I'd probably say Dion and Flags. Sorry, Dion and Flags, young tackles, one JUCO transfer. Dion is just a young athlete, great hips, great mobility. He can move. And Flags, he's a bigger dude, but he has great hip mobility, and he's a strong young man. So he can move. So I think
another perspective
right now
on that, just for variety. What about Justin?
I actually think after listening to Bates, Bates has had one of the best camps that I've seen in a while, and I think that he's going to be a great piece of the puzzle in our offense and really get our tight ends more involved. And I just really think that he's going to impact this team this year.
Okay. Let's keep this one with the receivers because it's a question from Brian, and he asks, who is the best defensive back on the team? Or if you don't want to say the best, is there anybody that's stood out from a very deep group? We'll go to Brendan first, then Keaton. Brendan?
I think all the DBs we have are phenomenal. I think the one that stands out to me the most is probably Brandon Eccles. He's just always energetic, making plays, and I mean all the DBs we have are great, but he's the one that kind of just sticks out to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of times those guys that come in from junior college, it takes that first year to maybe get their feet under them, and somewhere maybe toward the end of that year they start to come on and really take it to another level the second year. Keaton, what about you? Any of those guys that stand out to you?
They all are real good players. They push each other every day to get better. But I think the main guy that stand out is Kelvin Joseph. We call him Fat. He's all around the field every practice, and he's just a physical guy.
All right. For our next question, we're going to go to Luke, and this comes from Jack. If you could run one play at quarterback, what play would you choose to run?
That is a great question. I'm probably stuck between throwing a deep ball, just because I feel I'm not very good at that, and so I feel like that'd be really cool. And also some kind of design QB run, I think, would be a really cool play to run and score on it.
Darian, what about you?
I'll probably say a naked, so I could just roll out and throw the ball deep.
Well, I was just thinking if you rolled out and kept it, that would be a little interesting for the defensive back.
It would be very interesting.
Let's go to a question from Jerry. We'll give this one to start with Landon. During the pandemic, what would you say you've learned about yourself, and what have you used to influence others?
Let's see. I think a lot of it myself was, reflecting on leadership for me, and having this time off and being able to, hold myself accountable, but not just that, be able to have, like I had Austin Dotson come out and work out with me at my house during the pandemic. And I think for me, it was just being able to reflect and be able to go out there and lead a teammate, lead all my teammates as well, and sort of step into that role that I needed to take as a vocal, not just a leader by doing, but a leader by being vocal to those guys too, being able to take them under the wing, no matter what age they are, be able to help them along in this program as well.
Brendan, what about you to chime in on that one?
During that time, I kind of figured that I need to take a step this year and improve myself, and as a football player, and I think that's benefited me a lot because I've been having a good camp. But I think I'm motivating kind of others. Like a lot of people are stepping up in the tight end room. I mean, Riggs obviously the veteran, but it's like people like that I'm affecting people like around me. Like we have 2 walk-ons, and like they're working their butts off, and like I think that's how like I'm kind of influencing others by just wanting to be better, like just improve everyone. Like we ran outside of practice today, just trying to improve everyone around me, just to get everyone to work harder. And that's pretty much what I picked up during the that like pandemic. So.
This is the UK Football Virtual Fan Day presented by Clay Ingels. Make sure to tell fellow members of the BBN to join us, because we'll be here tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday night at 8 Eastern time for these 30-minute sessions. We've got another question that has come in, and this is a good one to make the rounds on everybody with. So we'll start with Keaton. Who was your favorite player from any sport growing up as an athlete?
My favorite player always been LeBron James, because he's from my hometown, and I just always looked at him as a leader. And he always does the right things to make people happy or make them improve as a person themselves.
Let's go to Justin.
Growing up, I always watched Jason Witten or like Jimmy Graham, and just the way they played football and the spectacular plays that they always made. Like I just kind of always wanted to be like them. And when I became a tight end, like I just kind of followed their gameplay and really learned from them.
Luke Fortner.
Joe Thomas for me. Was born in Cleveland, huge Browns fan, and now he's got abs. So, what can he do?
What about Landon?
I'll kind of piggyback off, and I know it sounds cliche, but Luke, with his answer, Joe Thomas, I didn't watch a lot of NFL ball when I was younger, and now when I started getting into football more, I watched a lot of him because I heard he was really good, and then I sort of got to see what all that talk was about. But also, same as Luke said, he got out of football, got down to like 240 pounds, has a six-pack, and living the dream.
Darian Kennard, how about you?
The guy I really idolized was probably Ray Lewis. Just having a somewhat similar background, and even though he had a lot of negatives in his life, he was able to turn that into his fuel, and eventually got to NFL and is a Hall of Famer. So it kind of just is something I want to do with my life is provide for my family and do things better.
And I think Brendan is the only one we haven't got an answer on this one. What about you?
I think my favorite, it's a toss up now because it was Dallas Clark, but now I'm starting to love Travis Kelce. I grew up watching Dallas Clark, but just Travis Kelce has a certain swagger about him, and I want to model my play after Travis. But I would say Travis Kelce now.
Okay. Next, it's not a question, but just a statement that you guys will enjoy hearing, especially the members of the offensive line. And it's from Josh and Crystal. They just simply say best offensive line in the SEC. And yes, they're Kentucky fans, but I think the folks at Pro Football Focus, College Division, and other places have said similar things. So when you hear that from fans or you hear it from somebody else, Landon, what's that make you guys feel like?
Makes us feel like we're doing something right. We're going out there and we work hard every single day to go out and prove that, not just as an offensive line, but as a team that we're better than what people want to say we are. But it does feel good to get a little bit of gratification. We're the guys that sign up on the field to get all the blame and none of the fame of it. And but that's the way we like it. We want to go out there and we want to be the guys that don't get all the cameras in their face, and we want to be able to go out and show people that being an offensive lineman is fun and it's enjoyable. And so it's really good to get a little bit of feedback from that.
All right, guys, we've hit the end of the wall here, so we will close out with one question for each of you. If there's a funny story or a favorite memory of somebody you met or anything from the old school fan days, so we'll go around the horn and we'll start with Justin.
I'm trying to think of a funny story that I can think of.
Or what you enjoyed, if it's not a funny story, just what you enjoyed most about it.
I just really enjoyed getting to know each and every fan. You really get a personal feel to it when they come, and it shows how much they support us and everything that they go through to be there for us.
Darian, what about you?
I'd say one of the funnier moments is probably when my mom showed up from work. She worked at the VA right across the street, and she brought 10 of her work colleagues and, showed up and made a little bit of a scene. Nothing bad, but kind of embarrassed me a little bit. But, it was all love, and they all showed up and support us very much. So it was probably one of the better times.
Moms can be really good at that sometimes. Luke Fortner.
Yeah, I'd say one of the fans that makes the most impact on me is probably Jerry Bell. He's always out there supporting us, and that's really awesome to see. And then just the people that wait in the lines to get our signatures, I'm going to miss that in a few years here when, no one's asking for my signature anymore.
And I'm not sure who we missed. How about Luke? We haven't gotten Luke's answer on that yet.
I just answered that one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're good.
I'm getting stuff in my ear from different directions. I apologize. Keaton, what about you?
I would say the most thing I enjoy is interacting with the fans and being able to be around the kids because they look up to us and showing them just being there and talking to them, taking pictures with them, that really touches me and the thing I enjoy the most.
Landon, did we get your answer on this?
No, you haven't yet.
What about you?
I would say, along with Luke, I think that's one of the funny things is I've created a really good relationship with Jerry Bell and Don, and being able to see in the old days Jerry get wheeled around and he'd grab the tables or grab a player or grab the rail and just want to just pull everybody off there and just play football with them. But of course he couldn't. But it's a great just to be able to see that. But not just that as well, seeing all the little kids just. All the people that truly do look up to you and you don't even realize that they do. And being able to see the twinkle in their eye when they get to meet a Kentucky football player and, just give them a little couple words of inspiration or a little pep talk, a little something just to keep them driving throughout the day. All
right. And I apologize here, guys, for multitasking, but I've got It's one of two guys that I haven't gone to yet. Justin?
You got me already.
Okay, then it must be Brendan. Or did we get them all?
I have a funny fan day moment. It was we were signing a bunch of stuff, and this one parent hands me her baby, and I was extremely confused. I didn't know if I was supposed to sign the baby or do something. But she pulled out a camera, and I was taking a picture of the baby, but she pulled it out very late, and I was just really confused, but it was really funny. Everyone started laughing, but that was just like a fun moment. I took a cute little selfie with the baby, and that was that. But that's just a little funny moment I had on fan.
Okay, that's a good one to close on. Before I let you guys go, Susan from Lexington wants whoever has a dog in the room with them to show us the dogs. So let's see who we have. Darian looks like he's going for a friend there. Is that Darian? What's the name?
So I got 3 dogs. This one's needy. His name's Yachty. He's a German Shepherd. I got a pug and I got a Chihuahua mix with a mini pone. But he's just needy. He's a baby. He's a rescue. All my dogs are rescues. So, as you see.
There's a great band called 3 Dog Night. So that's for Darian. Keaton.
I have a pit bull. He's 4 months old. He over here asleep right now. There he is.
Okay, so we just got a shot of him a minute ago. So he's we haven't really interested him. So he's sleeping. Landon.
I got a Moose Nanny. This is Moose. He was a Humane Society, and then I got Annie, and she was a stray.
Oh, good for you. All right. Darian's got another dog on the lap, we were told. Do we have another one?
If I can get him in here, I don't know. He's a little riled up. The little ones don't like to come around. Oh,
I understand. All right. Was that Luke? Were you chiming in?
Yeah. I don't have a dog, but Max Duffy's sitting on my couch. Just the fans want to see that.
Yeah,
Max, you want to come say hi? Honorable member of the Big Blue Wall.
He's not part of the Blue Wall.
If he does, make sure you give him a nice treat. All right, there's Darian.
Do I have to bark a couple of times or what? Is that what you want me to do? I don't really look like Darian's dog.
Let's go back to Darian. Who do you have there with you, Darian?
So what?
Who were the 2 you had there with you?
Drake Jr. over here. And I had Truffles, but she bolted out the room. They're all low excited.
Oh, we caught a glimpse of her earlier.
She's a
bit of a diva, I guess. Rig, Justin?
Yeah, I got
a dog there.
Yeah, come here.
Oh, okay.
Her name Bailey. She's a goofy dog.
She looks very happy.
Yeah.
They always do. Guys, that's really cool. Thank you all for doing that. That might be our tradition for this virtual fan day that gets the most attention. So everybody loves their dogs. Thank you guys for doing this. I know the fans really appreciate it. And best of luck this season.